Stuff when I see my man Ronnie DeVoe right here being a super dad and looking like he 20 years old. I know I'm a super dad.
Drinking that lamb's blood.
Looking like I'm 20 years old when I see them on stage doing all that choreography and their knees don't hurt. My knees don't hurt.
Your knees don't hurt.
Welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. I say the stage because whenever they bless the microphone, it's like they're on stage. Give it up for Ronnie, Ricky, my man Mike Bivens, and Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Shit.
Damn.
That's it, man. I got nothing else for you.
It's time to go after that.
Right. Man, that was a hell of an intro, man. Thank you for that.
At the beginning of the concert.
Right.
Y'all want that? I can send you the audio.
Yeah.
Send us the audio for that.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Well, I want to start with you, Bobby, because your story is about to be told.
Yes.
And it's being told by you.
Yeah. Me and my wife executive produced this along with Jesse Collins for BET. And we have a great cast, great director. Of course, Abdul Williams helped me write it, but it's my life story, man. It's everything that I've been through since I was a child, and I just can't wait for folks to see it. I'm really looking forward to it. So everybody, get your popcorn, chips, your drinks, set up the couch, and turn off the lights and kick back
and enjoy it.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be a wild ride.
So you mean you weren't born when New Edition formed? You had a life prior to that?
Yeah.
Everybody think it started when Candy Girl came out. That's what But so you're gonna talk about everything.
Everything.
Okay.
From when I first decided that I wasn't gonna be in the projects no more. I didn't want to be in the projects no more. I wanted out. So it's going to start from that point on.
I'm glad this is happening because there's been a lot of interpretations of who Bobby Brown is and who what your life was like. I even watched the Whitney documentary too, and I saw you in that, and I felt like, okay, but I didn't get to hear Bobby in that, and so now we finally get to hear even a New Edition story. I'm sure, because even as great as that was, it couldn't tell us everything about Ricky's life. It couldn't tell us everything about Ronnie's life or Michael's life. Yeah. This one is going to tell us everything about your life.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, did you guys premiere it yet? Have you previewed it?
Nah, we haven't seen it. We went to the set a couple times, watched a few scenes, but we haven't seen any of it yet in its entirety.
Yo, I was on the edge of my seat, though. I'm saying, like, we were on the set for 3-4 hours or what have you, and within that time, they brought out the little MacBook Pro and showed us maybe 3 or 4 scenes, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes long a piece, man. And you're just sitting there watching the MacBook, engaged, like on the edge of your seat, wanting more. So I can't wait until they string it all together. I'm looking so forward to it.
Are y'all concerned about how you're going to be portrayed in the Bobby Brown story?
Man.
I don't even think we in it.
I just hope I make the Bobby Brown. Nah.
I'm in it.
Nah,
I got him in that one.
Yeah. Surprises.
It's surprises.
There's gonna be some surprises.
So y'all don't know. Y'all haven't seen it.
No, we haven't seen it. No.
Okay.
I haven't even watched the whole film yet. So
I love that.
It's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Yo, it's crazy. Even the New Edition story. We saw the first night at the premieres leading up to the day that it aired on BET, so we never saw nights 2 and 3 until we were watching it with the rest of the world. Ultimately, we saw like bits and pieces of it. Don't get us wrong, because we had our fingers in the magic that it became, but ultimately we never saw it strung together until it aired.
Wow. So then what are the likelihoods of a Belle Biv DeVoe movie? Because that's kind of like nothing against anything else, but to me, the triumph can't be complete without the Belle Biv DeVoe movie.
We need some hand claps for that one. Come on. Okay. We need some hand claps for that one.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I was just talking yesterday with everybody in here. I mean, you think back now, it is 2018 going on 2019. You still throw on Poison, and it's ridiculous. It shuts down the club in the middle of Drake and everything else that's going on. I know y'all probably can't tell us everything, but what's the percentage?
We got 30 million plus viewers as New Edition, right? September 4th and 5th, the Bobby Brown story. We're looking at pushing those numbers to 40 and 50 million.
Right.
So once they get there, it's only right, like you said, like, oh, this thing is growing to that magnitude. Let's go on ahead and peel another layer back.
Okay.
And let them know about the Belle Biv DeVoe story.
And the good thing is, it's the making of Poison and how we really get down. Like, when you saw the movie, you got a chance to see how we were off stage, and that was entertaining to people. But BBD, we was doing some other shit.
Yeah,
you know, we
definitely.
just move different.
Right.
You know, we're a little bit like nah. Whereas Bob, some of his stuff dealing with the court and the stuff with the police, that was always on the news. But we all out of the same fucking litter.
Yeah.
So our stories are all the same. It's just that Bob's took it on a different level because of the media, but our stories are all of the same, and that's how we really became the group, because we was all each other's friend.
Right.
So we all got the same shit in
It's
us.
coming, damn it.
Coming down the pipeline. And I'm gonna refrain from asking. I'm sure you're getting a lot of the obvious stuff. I want to watch it first. You know. Okay. Before I even start asking a lot of stuff, I'm sure folks will be asking you about. But I do want to ask y'all about RBRM.
Right.
Yes.
RBRM.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
Damn, they said it just like this song.
Come on, son. Everybody knows Cool It now. Look, Sway, we spoke this
Ron, let
into
him hit
existence.
that note, Ron.
Go ahead, hit
giving
that
you
note.
that note. Go ahead, Sway.
Oh, you heard me, Mike?
Yeah, go. It made me feel good because that's how I started off.
Really?
Cool it now.
Yo.
Oh, hey.
We'll play the song.
It's like we spoke it into existence, you know, damn near 30 years ago. Not even knowing that one of the most famous taglines from our song would become our reality now, you know?
And you know what's crazy is this year, I believe, 2018, is the 30th anniversary of Don't Be Cruel.
Yes, it is.
Right. 2000,
on that one.
right?
Yes.
Don't be cruel.
30 years. That's
30 years,
crazy.
right? And so 2020 will be 30 years for Poison.
Clap on that one.
Oh my gosh,
That's
yo.
amazing.
So just to let you know, you know what I'm saying, what the numbers are feeling like. 18, the Bobby Brown story, 20,
You know what I'm
maybe.
saying?
You know.
So basically, you know, we were talking to Bob, you know, the New Edition, we weren't able to, you know, come together and tour after that movie. You know, that didn't happen. We just couldn't, you know, figure out how to make it happen. So in talking to Bob, what are you going to do after your movie? You going on tour?
Yeah.
Bet, you know, BBD, let's go together. You know,
Right.
Bobby Brown, it's Bobby Brown and Belle Biv DeVoe, and our names just happen to be Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
Right.
So that's how that all came
That's how it
together.
happened. I saw your IG statement too, and I appreciated that from you as a NE fan. Obviously, that things couldn't happen. But Johnny's on tour, and then what is Ralph doing?
Ralph has a radio show.
Ralph has a radio show, and so that's why New Edition isn't happening. Do you guys still own New Edition though? The name, the brand?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. That name was given to us by our manager, Brooke Payne, in 1978, just like you saw in the movie with myself, Bobby, and Mike Bivens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Johnny can't just join the tour? You know, since he owned tour, he couldn't just join the tour, or y'all just that's not what y'all wanted.
Well, it's not. I mean, listen. New Edition is always our ultimate goal. That
Right.
we're always striving to give the people that.
Okay.
You know, because that is the highest possible good for all of us. I mean, keeping it real, we get paid more money when it's all six of us. When it's New Edition, so that is always the goal. But you know, now there's no majority rule. So when we can't meet, you know, we can't force the next player to come play with us. So, you know, we still got to eat. We still got to.
That's some grown man shit right there.
Right.
That's right.
And Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, RBRM is not a new name for New Edition.
Exactly.
You know, New Edition is what it is, and at some point in our careers, we're gonna get back to that because we always do.
That's right.
It's just a matter of, you know, sometimes we need that time and space. So right now we rocking as RBRM, but we are New Edition for life ultimately.
New Edition for life. That's what's up, man. Bobby Brown is here, man. Give him a round of applause. Michael Goodens is here.
Yes.
Ricky Bell is here. Ronnie DeVoe. Now, we were just talking You know, we was just talking about Color Me Bad about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I don't know, but
Rick told me they was pushing each other off stage. Or something,
Man, I
right?
saw the video. It was crazy.
I'm lost.
yeah, man.
There was a new lead singer, and the old lead singer pushed the dude off the stage, and he got like charges or something.
Right, yeah.
All right.
What happened?
What happened?
Oh, the dude that sung "Sex Me Up" ain't in the group no more.
No, he's still in the group, but they had to perform. I think he was from what. Look, let me show it to you.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, really?
That's the real lead. That's the lead singer right there.
The big guy was
the big guy,
the lead singer, and one of the original member of the group. They, for whatever reason, the lead DB, what's the story? The lead singer couldn't come out on stage. Apparently
he was drunk, right?
Okay,
And,
there you go.
So they told him to hang out backstage while the other three continued on, and at the end of the performance, he came back out and pushed the dude down while he was saying like, "Thank you everybody for coming out." Boof.
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna happen on y'all.
That's not.
That already happened before.
Yeah, I know. Yo, when I said that, Mike looked at Bobby. You know.
That was about 85. We got through those issues and problems
that looks
already,
like
right?
the remix of some shit that's already went down.
Right. But listen, see,
That's
as
just
y'all,
the other shit.
right, as
That's
y'all
the shit
can-
I'm talking about.
Right, as y'all can see, even what's going on now with Color Me Bad, with Jodeci, with 112, you know, getting all members to agree on every single detail is very challenging.
Yeah.
And it's really literally impossible
that's a
for
good
that
point.
to happen.
That's a
you know,
good
so
point.
everybody goes through it. It's not foreign. And only those that are in group situations like that understand the dynamics
Man,
of that.
I gotta say something, Rick. You know, y'all didn't even ask this question, but we realized something. These groups that we know and the music we love, they all got some shit going on too.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Houdini was just in Nashville with Bob getting honored with Faith, and Jalil and Ecstasy was there, and D wasn't there. You know, so that's the situation. And then 112, you know, then we did a show with Jodeci and Dalvin and JoJo was there. KC didn't come.
Right.
And I was just like, God damn, like, either we're missing a bigger voice or, you know, it's something.
It's always something.
It's something that's taken away the soul of what we like. And we're victims of it as well.
Exactly.
And the only way we could understand our shit is when we looked at somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
But I just think somehow or another, Sway and Heather, we got to figure out a way to remember that when everybody's together, the whole audience is happy.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to remember why we do this and why we eat. We
Right.
eat because people help us pay our bills.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we always keep them first and our shit second, then people won't be ending up with broken families.
Exactly. And if we could realize that, listen, if Jodeci gets together, that's better for all of us, even us here. You know, Jodeci, 112, whether it be Next or Guy or whatever, if everybody just got together and we joined together, that's what that would mean for us as individuals, for our families, for our fan base, for the community, and just for music itself, man. It's better for everybody all around. So
And
it's
I
a
ain't
big
finished.
task.
And I'm into this group shit. So it hurts me because I speak to someone in each group and they always say, well, Mike, what do you think? What do you think we could do? I just be like, first of all, you have to just get rid of the problem that whoever's having. What is your real problem? Because if the ultimate goal is to sing the songs and to make the people happy and to get a check, that's what it's really all about. What's the other little shit that's becoming the bigger issue that ain't really an issue? And it just seems like, I go back to it, there's a voice missing. First of all, it starts at the record labels. It ain't enough black executives that care.
Okay.
So you don't know how to pull someone into the office and say, let me help you. Half of these black executives are at the red carpet before the artist now.
Yeah.
So the whole tutelage of being guided is fucked up. Then the managers ain't really managers. Them is just niggas getting jobs because he's your man. So even getting down with someone with the wisdom to sit, to sit in the room with somebody. And I honestly think the most powerful TV show for R&B right now is sitting groups in a room.
Sitting groups in a room.
Right.
Shit, you just gave that ideal out
Exactly.
live on the air like that?
Hey,
Oh,
listen.
that's because we already got a copy written and
I'm just telling
protected
you,
right
'cause-
now.
and the reason why I put it out there is because I know someone in each group, and that's what I tell them. Sometimes you just got to get in the room and get that shit off and get to the bigger picture.
Right.
Because I always say this, Heather. I don't care what no one say. I don't care if it's a hustler uptown in Chicago, L.A., Boston. Selling yayo on the block can get you OD. The music business got some OD addicts too.
Right.
Say Michael Bivins, man. We got them right here, ladies. RB, RM are
Yes.
here. They're going on stage together.
Yes.
Okay, September the 6th. It's all going down in
That's right.
Ontario, California. They starting on the West Coast. You want to talk with them? 888-742-3345. Get
Yes.
at us. Let's go. All right. Taking them back. Let's do it. Sway in the Morning Shade 45.
What?
There you have it right there, man.
Will.
Bobby Brown story premiering Tuesday, September the 4th and 5th on 9 p.m. on BET. They're all here, man. And I just want to celebrate these guys.
Yeah.
They gone through so much, you know, and a lot of times when we see people, you grow up watching people on a screen or on a movie, it's almost like you don't think they're people. They're not flesh and blood. They're not human, you know. And when you see them go through the trials and tribulations, and then you don't understand why they may act out in a certain way, it's because they're human. You know what I mean? And sometimes, man, especially in the field we work in, the media. Man, you got to have some empathy for folks. You know, you got to embrace folks and stop focusing on the wrong shit and focus on the right shit, you know. And with these guys, man, today I want to just celebrate who they are as individuals.
Thank you.
As men.
Thanks, swear.
No, absolutely, man. I got to know you guys separately from growing up, you know, idolizing, wanting to be like you. You know, we just men, flesh and bone.
Absolutely.
Trying
At the end of the day, yeah.
At the end of the day, trying to pay these monthly bills and
Yeah.
support this family.
Right.
Right.
You guys just chose different routes. We all chose. Everybody in this room chose a different route than your average civilian, you know. And when you choose those routes, it's a lot that comes with it.
Right.
So to be able to be immortalized and have your lives celebrated and documented and put out like this, I want to say congratulations that
you.
you're even
Thank you.
still here.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
You're
Right.
even still here.
Thank you.
Think
That's
about it.
That's the great thing about it, man. When you think we've had, as New Edition, we've had a consistent run, right? You know, 2 million albums just about each time out, right? And then the fruit that falls from the tree kind of usurps that, you know, and exceeds that expectation. Bobby Brown, Diamond, 10 million plus, Belle Biv DeVoe, 5 million plus, Johnny Gill, more than New Edition, Ralph Tresvant, more than New Edition, right? But NE, you know, consistent over time, like not getting the magnitude of success all at once, right? But getting it over a long period of time, man. And ultimately, I wouldn't trade that for anything, you know, through our ups and downs and being able to showcase the depth of this group. You know, not only is it the 5 or the 6 of us, but it is Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
You know, Don't Be Cruel. You know, it is Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. It is Michael Bivins, Boys to Men, and all this other stuff, you know. And I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. You know, like sometimes people get it all at once.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you don't hear about them, you know,
Yeah.
10 years, 15, 20 years later. God found a way not to give it to us all at once because he wanted us to get it gradually and keep making an impact over time. So 30 years.
Plus.
Amazing.
That's the word right there.
You guys probably could be the most knowledgeable people in the business right now. Think about it. Y'all got it.
We should be.
We got a
you
lot
should
of
be.
experience. We got a lot of experience. And there's nothing new under the sun as far as what groups and artists are going through
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
You know, all
Yeah,
this,
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is because with the different ways they're selling music these days, it's a different way of marketing. It's a different. I mean, if when we started out, social media was what it is now.
I mean, when I say that, I mean in the challenges of the group dynamics and what people
Right.
are fighting against, and all the challenges of whether it be drugs, alcohol, groupies, the pressure, public perception, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's really nothing
that
new.
ain't changed.
Everyone still goes
That ain't
through that.
changed.
That ain't changed. So let's start. You guys, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you a question apiece. I'm just gonna come off the top. What advice would you give to, or just based on your experiences? I don't even know if advice is the right word, but what would you say to? How do you balance family and career, having done this 30 plus years? I'll start with you, Ronnie.
Wow, man, I'm up until this point, it's been a little bit more of a selfish thing for me, right? I hadn't had children until a year ago, so whenever I want to fall back and just pick up the remote and sit on the couch, I'm only affecting myself, right?
Yeah.
And now there is a greater balance that I'm just learning. Ultimately, when we go on this tour September 6th, it's 25 plus dates until November 10th, right? So the juggle is real. I love my kids, Ronald and Roman. I love my wife and the extension of my family, Mom Dukes and everybody on down the line, right? So how do I juggle that? Like, do I bring my kids on the road? Is there enough space on the tour bus to bring my kids on the road? And, all of the above. So I'm just learning some of this stuff, but I've been watching, great examples ahead of me, Bob and his kids, and seeing how he does it, and Mike and his children, of course, my uncle and his kids. So, the juggle is real. I'm just learning.
You just not learning.
The juggle is real, right?
Okay, let me ask you this, Ricky. When you come into business with friends, sometimes friends soon can become enemies, and sometimes the friend could be the crab in the bucket. And you witnessed this. You guys as friends have to deal with a bunch of trials and tribulations. What foresight, what insight could you give folks who are doing business with friends right now? What should you watch out for?
Man, I think business, it's a really fine line when it comes to that. Especially like with us, we weren't put together. We were friends that formed a group. So we were friends before we started working professionally together. And through my experience in making the mistakes and going, me on, sometimes being the one that offended, my brother, or made the mistake, and then vice versa. What I've learned, through that is you're gonna bump heads. There's just no way around that. If you're young and you're growing up and you throw a bunch of money and a bunch of fame on the table, nobody really teaches you how to handle that. Only experience is gonna teach you how to do that. So at the end of the day, just like in a marriage, you're gonna have to forgive, and you're gonna have to make amends, and you're gonna have to do it, on a level that you're not humanly capable of doing it, not within your own power. It's going to be, well, I'll forgive that, but I won't forgive that. No, you're going to be asked to forgive, over things that, that hurt and that are really hard to forgive. It's if you plan on being in a long-term relationship, whether that be professionally or personally, like we have, we've gone through everything. We've, the women, the money, just to being around each other. I mean, we fought about everything you can possibly, think about, facing. So I would say, don't take anything personal. Just like you said earlier, we are all just men learning life as we go, just trying to figure it all out. Nobody has the magic answer. No one's going to do everything right all the time. So just don't take anything personal. Be quick to forgive and be quick to make amends, and when you make a mistake, to apologize.
Okay.
Family, I just wanted to say, on the family level, even without kids, like there's certain things that you're gonna miss, right?
Yeah.
But there's certain things you can't miss when it comes to family. Like there's certain milestone moments, graduations, just certain things, the first day of school, like no matter how much money may be on the table, for a concert or what have you, there's just certain things you can't miss. So I just wanted to speak to that.
Prioritize.
Right. Yeah.
Bobby, let me ask you this. A lot of the things you've been through has been public information, whether it has been dealing with substances and turmoil within the family and all of these different things. You faced a lot of adversity, but you here today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you've been through a lot with vices, but you're here today. A lot of these kids nowadays are dealing with similar vices, you know, that are in the music business, that are in entertainment. What insight can you give to them? I can't tell people what to do just based on your experiences. What
Right.
insight could you give to them?
Well, you know, when you turn to substances and vices, things like that, that means something inside of you is something you're not doing for yourself. You know, you're not loving yourself. You know, you know, I had to learn to love myself a lot more, and I'm still learning. I mean, God is still working with me. So, you know, the only thing I can tell them is to learn to love themselves a lot more. Appreciate yourself. You know, God put you here for a reason, and it's not to harm you. It's not to harm yourself. You know, so just take care of yourself, and know that, you know, God has always got you. You know, He's not going to let anything. There's nothing that you can do to yourself that can take away what God feels for you. And just know that He has you, and just love yourself, man.
Love yourself.
Love yourself, man.
Okay. Michael Bivens, well, I was just having this conversation with Kelly Kincaid about Reese Witherspoon, who has about 10 or 11 different production companies underneath her brand. And I look at people like a Nick Cannon, who secretly, quietly is stacking up a lot of dough and got a lot of business ventures. But you were one of the first people that I looked at, you know, that came as an artist. You know, that started as an artist and became this business mogul. And we was like, what the hell? What is he doing? Shouldn't he be on tour? You know, we didn't know that you can do it all. You know, and you had that foresight early on. You know, I don't know where it came from, but what if it perhaps you was preparing for the future? You didn't know you was going to be on stage 20, 30 years later. What insight can you give folks who come into the business one way, when it's all, but they're surrounded by so much opportunity? What triggered it for you, and what insight can you give from a business perspective?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't really be here.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, I had 1 foot out at the park and 1 foot in rehearsal, and I would miss rehearsal because I'd be right up the park, and Ricky's sisters would be there heckling me, and Tommy be there heckling me. And they like, why you up in there practice? Because I was in love with ball. I just liked my friends. I didn't love the music like that. It was just one day after we got off tour, that big long tour to L.A. in the $87, and Ricky and Bobby ran to my side of the project to forewarn me about what was going to happen in the meeting. And I was a little shocked that they was upset, because to me, I always kept $2 in my pocket. So $1.87 felt like I was short. So it didn't bother me. But I realized something wasn't right. And I went on this tour, and I just couldn't wait to get home because I was in 2 or 3 leagues, and I'm thinking about trophies. And I said to my, you know what I'm saying, B? I'm thinking like, well, you know, they'd be singing, I'd just be dancing with Ron and rapping and stuff. So I was still trying to find the love for it. And after that, I asked my mom, I said, you know, they seem pretty upset what just happened to us. We got taken advantage of it. And she just said, well, you know, maybe you figured out what you should do. Just watch the money now. So my mom triggered it. So I didn't know how to watch the money. I just started asking a lot of shit. And I started paying attention. And as a result of it, while Ricky was talking, my brain was moving. Because I noticed you skipped me. I said, well, damn, if he skipped me, maybe he's thinking of what the hell he's going to say. And I was thinking too, bro. And I just wanted to say this. You know, for me, I think the reason why I loved making the switch from ball to the group, because I like being on a team.
Yeah.
So I love this shit here on the court. Like, you know what I'm saying, Ron? I see you, bro. I like Rick. I like the vibe. And I think in the group, the reason why I felt comfortable, because I only wanted to do my role.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how to be Bob. I don't even know how to be Ron. I never thought about being Rick. I just wanted to be Mike. So my advice to somebody is find out what you do. Right. And let the next man be celebrated by you. That's what fucks up groups. Because you don't know how to let that nigga be him. Because you want to be him, you want to be him. And in the essence, you don't even know who you are. So for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch the paper. Then I just started following personalities. Like I could feel the bullshit off the rip.
Right.
Like if we sit in the room, I don't even do all the talking. You know who tells me to talk? Him. Yo, you've been sitting here all day. Say something. I'm just collecting.
Right.
And I'm just watching because I feel like the best way to understand is to let someone say what they got to say.
Right.
And then in the minute when we huddle up, we say we have to say. So my second point is let each man be themselves and don't always be first to fucking talk. Learn some shit so you know how to answer.
Right.
And I've always been comfortable with who I am. And I lost some people in business because I used to push back from us too. Like if someone came around and tried to get in and shit, I'd be like, nah, fuck that. I'm not voting on that. Something don't feel right. And they would know that if they didn't get in, maybe because I was pushing back, because I felt protective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at that point, I felt like if that's what my instincts were saying, maybe that saved us from another problem. And some got through the crack, but those was the ones that taught us the game.
Right.
Because the good ones was with us.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers who got us good.
Got you good.
But gave us the wisdom for the Bobby Brown solo when he told the promoter the show was sold out at MSG, but that 150 ain't gonna work, raised that bitch to 250. Then he took the stage with Big Daddy King. He don't even know I know that.
That's what happened, Bobby?
250. Look at the tape, him and Big Daddy Kane. I'm talking about Chocolate Wonders. That was the first time them two niggas in 20,000. That shit was incredible.
Yeah.
Two handsome black men on stage at the Garden. This was back in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Crazy. So the point that I'm saying is, I feel as though, for me, all of those executives, the Jays, the Puffs, the Jermaines, I was the young cat to Russell and Lior. I was the young cat to L.A. and Babyface. I was there when Dre and Suge was shopping the Chronic album. I knew when L.A. and Babyface's deal wasn't good and Clive redid it for $100 million. They didn't have a great contract. I knew when Clive gave Puff his tape. So I was up under the tutelage of Joe Busby, who doesn't get enough props.
Speak on
him. For him as a black executive. I'm talking about every convention. Queen Latifah and Shakim came through there to get their shit going. He believed in the Queen that created the TV shit, which is a part of your crew, female MCs. So for me, I got so much shit in me that I gotta wait for the New Edition story. I gotta wait for the Bobby Brown. I gotta wait for the BBD. I can't wait to get the motherfucking ball. That's my advice. Wait for your turn.
Wait for your turn.
Wow.
Hey, man. RBRM are here. Hey. RBRM are here. The Bobby Brown story, September 4th and 5th.
Yeah, buddy.
BET at 9 p.m. Man, I can't wait to see it. Ronnie, I love you.
Man,
if I never
you
told
too,
y'all
man.
that.
Yes, love
Ricky,
you too.
I love you.
I love you too, bro.
All right, Mike, I love you.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Bobby, we say we love each other every time we see each other.
Can we switch over
We
on
gonna
our
hit that
Candy Go
poker
shit?
table
Let's
too,
move to the left. Heather, we love you.
Yes.
We
y'all
thank you
too.
for every contribution you did in hip hop as well. You two are dynamic on this show. Y'all motherfuckers make people watch and listen. And I'm just saying thank you for having us. And just know that just because we was here talking about the bricks that we built, we'll never forget your contribution. And bro, from Cali to New York and television, don't no one do it better. And all those fucking interviews are being duplicated.
Yeah, absolutely. There you
Shit,
go.
damn, he spoke a whole nother. We're gonna have a whole nother show about that.
Poking holes and shit.
Yo, nah, damn it, man. Hey, man.
On tour.
Man, thank you guys for
Thank you for having us.
Come on, man.
Tickets.